All right, so to understand why they call the phrase, like why you're taught to say it's a son of a bitch, it's because of these two. So that's why. That's what the Statue of Liberty is supposed to be. And there's two sons. There's a second son, that's a black son, that in the hierarchy of Portuguese or the Ceratov is literally the vagina hole of all of this whole thing here that they created with this diagram here of the nine wonders, or what you would call nine planets. Is actually nine wonders. It's like nine wombs. And the bottom is the vagina out into the void of creation. And that's why when you, apparently they say, go to the kingdom of the black sun, everything that you dream of comes into the void. So it's like the womb or the chalice or whatever. So this place is like a giant series of wombs. But anyways, in many different variant areas that people that I've talked to, I've heard a lot of different stories. People say they astral travel to these places. And when they get up here, they see her again, and she's in all these different places again and again. It's something else. So if you see the movie Epic, the Disney movie, they show you in a different world. She's like queen of these little leaf people. So it's just like interesting, like, but yeah. So sometimes I'll just see that, and it'll let me know. You know what I'm saying? Things are good, like lucid visions. Like whenever I'm doing stuff, it's like, man. For the first time I seen her, she had this on. It was none of this. These two eyes formed first, and then it went back, and a line started forming. And she had on like this simple maiden like kind of thing that was kind of just like that. Real simple. Some shit like ruffling and shit. And none of this was on. It was just real simple and no sun. And she was floating. She was using like these chi hand movements. So that's when I kind of started doing it. And it started working, helping me absorb chi better. It was like, wow. So simultaneously, it's like multiples of aspects of learning and just acknowledgement that happens within just the presence of this being. So this being's like floating at me when she stepped back, his eyes and formed, and that's when the first time I seen her. And after that, I've been seeing her because me and my kids, we had a debate whether the son was a boy or a girl, and we was outside, and we was like, man. She was like, man, that's a boy, that's a girl. Look at those eyes and those cheeks. And I said, no, it's a boy, right? So one day we went outside, and we were like, are you a girl? I mean, are you a boy or a girl? And he starts laughing, and we were like, wow. And I said, are you a girl? And he starts frowning. He's like, nah. He's like, nah, I'm not a girl. And he's just kind of being cool about it. And then we were like, are you a boy? And he's like, yeah. He started smiling and laughing. So we were like, whoa, it's a boy, right? So that kind of ended the debate. But then later I go out there and I said, so is God, I said, is God a boy or a girl? And then that's who comes to me that night in a lucid vision. Like the eyes formed, and then she flew back, and then she starts coming at me with these chi hands moving. And she put me into her bosom, and that's what I remember her dress looked like a real simple maiden kind of thing. And she put me into her bosom, and I went out of her back like that. And that was the first time I met her, and I was like, wow. And I said, God is a woman. But I was real spiteful at first because I was thinking it was a man with a beard or something. So I was kind of pissed, like, what the fuck, man, just a woman? So then I got mad, and I was like, wait a minute. I got mad at myself, and I realized that I was deceived in a way that made me hate, like, disgrace my own maker and shit. Like, it was very interesting experience, and a transcendence of like extension, like in itself, like just acknowledging that was very powerful. So and after that, I've been seeing all the signs, like weird science. They showed us the light sun and the black sun formed a woman. Like I see it all now because I met her. So the first time I had been sun gazing. That's how I got connected. But basically, another time I saw her, she had this crown that was moving, and the sun was beaming out right here, and she had this big thing on, like a dashiki looking thing. So that's why I recognized her in the Thor movie when the crown was shifting. I was like, oh, and I was like, oh, that's like the Road Runner, right? Because it could be possible that maybe in our realm, maybe we was blue or something, and she was like the queen of like the blue people or something. The Road Runner is blue, so it kind of gives you like hints. And she's got that big crown that shapeshifts and shit. So it's a very interesting thing, like this whole thing. And no matter what, anybody tries to touch the Road Runner, she's so omnipresent. She's got that look that just like, I got it in the bag, kind of smile that I seen, like very giddy and just kind of like, like, you can't fuck with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? But it's also like, have a good time. Like, you could have a pinching match with them cheeks. Like, you could just be like, back and forth giggling and shit for like an hour. So that's the energy, like very loving and caring. But maybe she could fuck you up too, you know what I'm saying? So that's what you kind of wonder, like you try to mess with the Roadrunner, you just fuck yourself up. So it's just interesting. But there's a lot of different connections that are to be made with this. And it's so profound that now that I've made this connection that I can even see this to tell anybody else. And they even got the Statue of Liberty, bro, coming out of Rupert's Negra. Straight up the stump, and then got the green woman standing for liberty and justice, like coming out. And it's just so obvious, right on the water. So I'm just like, man, like all these different mockeries and graven images onto the maker that are actually deceptive and a ripoff of the original, like Buddha. Like the Buddha statue has it. Like I seen one time she showed up, she had the get up on, and her skin was just gold, and her eyes were blank, and the sun was beaming. And I was at a McDonald's getting picked up in New Hampshire. My friend was picking me up at a McDonald's, and I was like, kind of like, whoa, like it just blew me back because I was meditating, and it just blew me fucking back, like, whoo. And I was like, dang, there she goes again. So, but she changes her forms a lot, which I find to be very interesting. So, the sun here, he tells you everything, man. He basically just knows what's going on. You can't see him because of what you're bathing in. This fluoride that you're bathing in is not allowing you to make a connection. And in church, they tell you, oh, yeah, you know, he even looks like Jesus Christ. Like if you look at the church, and he's got that long Romanesque nose with that Romanesque kind of thing with those red cheeks. You know what I'm saying? They're real flush. Very modest, not vain. And that's everything that the sun is. Like, real modest and but just handsome. Everything that the sun is, man. So it's, you know, it's to be seen everywhere. I mean, regardless if you believe in it or not, it doesn't matter what people believe. As long as you got good intentions, this maker will still flow through you. And ultimately, I've made such a strong connection that I have like a mission, like that I've been able to, like, granted, you know, acknowledgement of, and I feel like I want to lead people to this place that she's at, you know. And it's just a dead giveaway. You look north and it's just all this green coming off. And it's just like, man, it's so obvious. It's like, what the fuck? Like, it's just super obvious. So, you know, just take a look around, man. The symbols are everywhere. You know, that Olivia Newton-John video that I showed you, where it had that fucking, she was at the pole and you see she's got that makeup on, trying to look like that. So that's not her idea. Like, they got those people under mind control, so you already know. That's just put there to hide that shit in your face. But you know, that's why that phrase, it's a, you know, son of a bitch, like that. That's why that phrase is in your head. It's because it's taught to you to disgrace her. So, son of a bitch, you're not supposed to really, you know, do what you want to do, but I'm trying not to say that anymore. That's why they say that. That's why they say son of a bitch. Stay awake.